It's Wednesday, the 14th of August, 2024. Welcome to the Fast 5 Business News by Fear and Greed, where we give you the top 5 business stories you need to know in just 5 minutes. I'm Michael Thompson, and good morning, Sean Aylmer.
Good morning, Michael.
Sean, 5 stories, 5 minutes. Let's get going. Story number 1, bit of mixed news on the inflation front this morning. Price pressures in the Australian economy are easing, with supply and demand moving towards balance, according to the latest NAB monthly business survey. But Sean, at the same time, wage pressures remain elevated, working against price disinflation.
It is very difficult to determine exactly what's going on, which is part of the reason that the Reserve Bank is resisting calls to lower rates anytime soon. First to that National Australia Bank July survey, it shows labour cost growth rose 2.5% from 1.5% in June, but purchase cost growth eased, as did retail price growth. Overall business conditions rose just a touch. First time in 5 months they've gone up, slightly below this long-run average. Still, business confidence fell, though. Now, National Australia Bank Chief Economist Alan Oster said the survey suggests the jobs growth is pretty robust, but below average trading conditions and profits are a bit of a worry. Then we had the ABS's wage price index. It shows a 0.8% rise in the last quarter. That's below the 0.9% rise in March quarter. That's kind of good. But the annual rate to the end of June came in at 4.1%, which was actually a little bit above the Reserve Bank's forecast. Now, the wage price index has been at that 4% or more for over a year. What's all that mean? Well, the Reserve Bank reckons wages at this level are unsustainable without productivity growth, and that's a worry.
Sean, there was also consumer sentiment measures out yesterday. You've said in the past that consumers are generally, they've been a pretty miserable bunch lately. Are we still pessimistic?
Yep, still a miserable bunch. The Westpac Melbourne Institute Consumer Sentiment Index in August rose nearly 3%, but remains at very weak levels by historical standards. Good news was that family finances bounced back somewhat. Around housing, home buyer sentiment sank. New lows there. Consumer price expectations cooled a touch. That's kind of good. We'll find out more about what's going on in the economy today when the unemployment rate figures are released.
Sean, on to story number 2. Australia's third largest company, CSL, expects a doubling of earnings growth over the next 5 years as its core plasma collection business finally recovers from the COVID pandemic.
However, its vaccine and pharmaceutical operations will not grow as fast in the near term. Also, while revenue was higher, so too were operating costs, and that triggered a 4.5% sell-off in the stock. CSL's net profit jumped 15% to just over $3 billion. Its main business is plasma collection. That was badly disrupted by the pandemic. It's now on the way back to normal activities. That's the good news. CSL's share price has moved around a fair bit over the past 5 years, so it's currently down about 12% compared to its highs of early 2020.
Story number 3 now, Sean. The federal government has resisted growing calls to impose a full ban on gambling advertising, despite admitting that it can cause serious harm to the community.
Labor is expected to impose a partial ban capping the number of ads on television, according to media reports. In response to growing pressure to implement the ban, Health Minister Mark Butler said that gambling is a service available in the community that consumed and enjoyed responsibly and in moderation can lead to no harm, but used to excess or used in a problematic way, it can cause real harm. Now, previously, an inquiry led by the late Labor MP Peter Murphy called for a full ban of ads. Independent Senator David Pocock said a partial ban on gambling ads is a betrayal of Ms. Murphy's legacy. There's also been independents out there very much promoting the need for a full ban.
Story number 4, online retailer Temple & Webster's share price jumped 23% yesterday after delivering record annual sales.
It was a cracking result. Sales last year jumped 26% to nearly $500 million, though the net profit was only $2 million, in fact, a little bit less than that. That reflected a one-off cost involved in the write-down of an Israeli investment. For the first 5 weeks of this year, trading was up 26%, seemingly defying the cost of living crisis. Chief Executive and co-founder Mark Coulter said repeat customers now make up 57% of all orders, and things like augmented reality, virtual reality, that's helping them sell stuff. Temple & Webster sells more than 200,000 products from hundreds of suppliers, many of which are shipped directly to customers, enabling faster delivery times, also reduces the need to hold inventory. Its private label brand now generates around 30% of group sales.
Last one, story number 5. Elon Musk wants a job inside Donald Trump's White House after the Tesla billionaire and Republican nominee for presidency held really what can only be described as a bit of a love-in on X yesterday.
Mr. Musk pitched himself as the man to cut federal spending in the discussion on X, a platform that rejected Mr. Trump when it was Twitter, only to allow him back on when Mr. Musk bought it. The event was delayed for 40 minutes, which Mr. Musk blamed on a cyber attack. The conversation included the risk of World War III and Mr. Trump's desire for the US to have an Iron Dome similar to Israel's. He also called Kamala Harris a third-rate phony candidate. Mr. Musk endorsed Trump for president last month as part of the shift that he has made. He's advised Mr. Trump on electric vehicles and cryptocurrency policy. Now, they used to have a very rocky relationship. It's totally changed, though. Now, highlighting Mr. Musk's growing sway with Mr. Trump were comments from the former president. He's long been a critic of electric vehicles. Yesterday, he praised the EV maker, saying Tesla's cars are incredible.
All right, there we go. The top 5 business stories in 5 minutes. Thank you very much, Sean.
Thank you, Michael.
It's Wednesday, the 14th of August, 2024. Remember to hit follow on the podcast. And if 5 minutes isn't enough, you can find our longer daily show called Fear and Greed wherever you listen to podcasts or at fearandgreed.com.au, which is also where you can sign up for our free weekly newsletter. It actually comes out today, so there's never been a better time to sign up for that one. I'm Michael Thompson, and that was the Fast 5 Business News by Fear and Greed. Have a great day.